House 2, The Second Story, is a comedy horror film from 1987. This is directed by Ethan Wiley. It's written by Wiley and Fred Decker, and it stars Arye as Jessie. And I have seen the first film quite a long time ago. I can't even remember if I liked that film. But I love John Ratzenberger. I'm trying to watch every John Ratzenberger film, and he is in this, so I thought I'd give it a go. I also am currently subscribed to Shudder, and it is on Shudder in the UK. And I did enjoy it. I don't think it's amazing, but the makeup, the costumes, they're so fabulous. If you want something that's fun and creepy and very easy to watch with a lot of bizarre moments, then House 2 is a pretty good one to go with. I'm not going to go into any spoiler details. I'm not going to explain any of the bizarre things that happen, but I will just say expect the unexpected. And Jesse has moved into this house, and he ends up digging up an ancestor while he's looking for this skull that possesses these powers. And the ancestor is Gramps. He's played by Dano, and he is kind of a zombie. He looks wonderful, by which I mean the makeup and the costumes are absolutely fantastic. And there's a moment where he doesn't realise he is a zombie to begin with, or he's the undead, or whatever you want to call him. And the moment of realisation I thought was fabulous, and he's a really brilliant character. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been as enjoyable if he wasn't in it, but I absolutely loved what he brought to this. And throughout the film, they're trying to find this skull. We encounter various other characters of the undead. There is some fluff and padding, and, well, it's not necessarily padding in the sense that it does exist to create a more detailed narrative. There's more going on than the very basic premise that I've described. And I appreciate that they made the effort to make it a more well-rounded narrative, but I found everything else to be really boring. And I think that's largely because the rest of the characters, or most of the other characters, mostly those who are not privy to the search for the skull, I just found them to be kind of dull and not that interesting. Not to the extent that it hindered my enjoyment of the film, but I just found that most other characters definitely were there to bulk things out rather than to be very interesting, at least in my opinion. I am speaking about the human living characters, not the rest of the undead and the more fascinating beings and animals. We get some very interesting animals and some interesting puppetry work. Visually, it is so fun. It is an absolute joy. The performances are really good, and it definitely has a fun, comedic, creepy atmosphere, which is absolutely what I love. It isn't perfect. There are times when it definitely feels a little slow, but in general, it's a pretty good film, and I rather enjoyed it. And John Ratzenberger is barely in it. A little bit disappointed by that, but I knew he wasn't top billed or anything, so I knew he wasn't going to be in it all the way through. It did take quite a while to get anywhere with Ratzenberger's character, but I liked what he was in. I liked the character. I liked seeing him in this, but the rest of it, really enjoyable. Had a lot of fun with it. As I said, I cannot remember the first film very well. By coincidence, George Wendt is in the first film, and I think that's probably why I watched that film to begin with. And if you're unaware, George Wendt and John Ratzenberger are both in Cheers, and it has been quite a few years. In fact, I'm going to check. February 2021. So in my defence, it's been, good heavens, over 3 years since I saw it. Can't remember whether I liked it or not. So I can't say, if you like this, you should watch this, because I don't know if they have the same feeling or not. I feel like I should go back and watch that film again. But certainly I can confirm that I did enjoy House 2. I watched it for John Ratzenberger. Although he was not in it very much, I'm glad that I had a reason to watch it, because it's enjoyable. If you're looking for a fun, silly, entertaining comedy horror, then House 2, The Second Story is definitely worth watching. I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm very happy to recommend it.